During the pandemic, there was a high recession, and there still is. So, whenever a recession comes in, what do people do? They normally tend to invest in certain goods. They tend to fly away from risky assets and go into more secure assets, which are normally bonds or real estate, or now can be cryptocurrencies. But let me tell you a great way, a smart way to do that. So, imagine that you have an investment portfolio, you don't feel secure because of the volatility of the market, and you want to cash it out. Now, where do you put the money? Well, the first option is just to leave it there in your bank account, which is not smart because you have to use that money to help yourself in the future. But how do you make money on that? Well, you need to invest. So, the first option is to invest personally. You just take the money, buy a house. You take the money, buy crypto. You take that money or you buy a bond. But is that a smart way to do that? Well, it is, but I have a smarter way in Italy. So that includes a PMI startup. So it's not an innovative startup, it's a PMI. It's a regular company that you need to have the exclusivity of an intellectual property. If you think that's really hard to make, actually it isn't. You need to have a piece of code registered at the Italian author's office. So if your company has that, and by the way, it's extremely easy to do it. You can pay somebody on a platform to write some coherent code. Then the company has that quality, which lasts for 5 years. But why do you use that for the investment? Well, the best way is that it creates a 50% tax credit on your investment. So if you put 100,000 euros into the business, you immediately get back 50% of it. So you put 100, you get 50k back. And 50k back can be offset against your tax liabilities in a maximum period of 5 years. So let's say that you pay 20,000 euros in taxes per year. If you invest 100k into your own business, which you then use the money to buy crypto, to buy real estate, to buy whatever you want, well, you don't pay tax for the first year, you don't pay tax for the second year, and on the third year, you only pay 10,000 euros in taxes. So basically, this is a 100% return immediately, because if you put 100k in the company, you get 50k back, you get an immediate 50% discount, and if you just get back the 100k, which they just moved between yourself and the company, well, you can still get the 50% tax credit. So my advice to use such companies, which by the way have costs to set up, they have costs to run, you need to pay an accountant, and you need to run a few expenses. However, the gain is immediate. You get that money back immediately if you pay taxes in Italy. So why not? You have a common liability, which is your income tax return, but you can also get a lower tax rate because companies pay 24% tax rate. If you add up and you are a higher rate taxpayer, you also reduce that. And yes, there are costs associated with winding up the company, but once again, we are talking big money. Whatever money you invest up to 300,000 euros, you can get 50% taxes back immediately. So in time of pandemic, in time of heavy economic recession, that's the best way to secure your investment. So you decide to invest in goods that are normally refuge in such periods, and they normally give low returns. So if you want to spike up the return without increasing the risk, I think this is the best strategy you can have.